Hello viewers, Big Head Django here with this week's trial guide. I hope you all are doing fantastic. Now, quite a bit late actually for this week's guide. It's already Tuesday and the weekly reset is in 2 days. I am pretty sure most of you would have already completed this by now, but I still wanted to show it off mainly because of this car, the 2018 Ford Mustang RTR Spec 5. Absolutely brilliant on dirt, a very comfortable, fun car to use. So let's jump right into it with the first race, starting at the front of the player grid, which is going to help us out. Viewy duck with an insane acceleration pins me into the wall, and there goes any advantage I could have had. This is a car with a very slow launch to begin with into the first corner, and I am surrounded by AI and teammates getting knocked around a little bit. But full throttle through this dirt section, almost missing that checkpoint, and Viewy duck in their track car slamming into that barrier. Up ahead, XQSM fighting with the air, gets completely wrecked. That's just devastating. Probably out of the race now. Just, packing up, going back home. By this point, I've taken the lead. Handbrake through that hairpin. Just extremely aggressive teammates there. But thankfully, I am in a car with very good handling. Actually is very good for dirt racing. Coming back onto the road, I do a very poor job of that corner. Look like a complete noob. For the next two corners, you can't be too fast and you can't be too slow. Both of those corners are connected. Need the right speed for a smooth flow through them. And we are almost done with the first lap, leading the race and by a good margin. Team's winning, so that's great. Crossing the start line into lap 2 and coming up to the first corner, do need to slow down quite a bit because you will be coming in way too fast. And now a very good way to approach this section is to stay on the dirt. Don't try and go for the checkpoints because it's very easy to miss a checkpoint here. The checkpoints aren't very far apart and it's very easy to miss one if you come in way too fast or off course. So most of this track is very high speed. You only have to deal with one hairpin, and for the majority of the rest of the corners it's fairly easy to simply slide through them. So one teammate, XQSM, who's done a marvelous recovery, is right behind me while the rest of the team is very much far off. So we are going to skip ahead by quite a bit here, and XQSM is starting to catch up at this point, which isn't very surprising considering they're driving the same car, but I have a feeling they might be wall riding in order to catch up, and maybe, just maybe, perhaps it does seem that way. So very close behind me now, but still maybe a second behind, which means I can't make any mistakes. But I do get through the trickiest corner just fine, and I think they slow down a bit too much riding that wall. And that's it, race done. A pretty decent race. So two Fords crossing the finish line at the same time. It's almost like Ford versus Ferrari, except there aren't any Ferraris in this race. But the most disturbing part is that the entire team does not finish, including the AI, which is kind of okay, but that's just Now the second race was also pretty similar. I finished well ahead of the team by 8 seconds, but thankfully this time everyone did manage to finish, and it was only the AI that did not finish. So very easy 2 wins with this car, a very wonderful car to use. Moving on to the second race of the trial, I'm gonna switch over to the HSV Gen-F GTS. So starting in 4th place with the player grid, this is a car that has a better acceleration than the Mustang, but it does lack handling. Now the AI already has a very hard time staying on road in these races, and it seems so do my teammates. So completely lose whatever acceleration I had. Coming up onto the first corner, stay on the inside line and brake hard to avoid getting rammed. Actually prevent Leo Zkai from going off-road there. So a couple of fast corners here, gotta sort of drift through, get rear-ended by Justice 0233888, completely mess up these next 2 corners, just come in way too fast, completely lose control. But thankfully I'm not the only one, because Leo Z guy makes me look like a pro. Now onto the dirt, coming in too fast again, getting bumped from behind. This car isn't particularly good on the corners, it's pretty average, I'd say. And Leo Z guy behind us is, as we know, in a faster, much more better car. Coming up on the tricky corner where you need to go back on the dirt, Leo Z guys on the inside, so I do give them way. Justice comes in fast and hard, rams me straight into the wall because, you know, who cares about teammates, right? And back onto the dirt, completely chaotic, extremely aggressive teammates. I come in way too fast on this corner and just absolutely fail to turn in. And now I am looking for an opening here, and what happens is that I rear in Leo Z guy, that slows me down, and then I brake too much, which slows me down a lot more. So Justice manages to pass me, and as you can see, nobody wants to let up. Everybody is going all in, nothing held back. Everyone wants that win. All the while, the player in first place just maintaining that position absolutely cleanly, perfectly. Coming up onto the finish line, I don't, of course, manage to get ahead again. Started in 4th place and finished in 4th place. A pretty interesting race, that's for sure. So yeah, there you go. That is how you win the trial. And to be honest, it's pretty easy to do considering that the AI sort of has been permanently nerfed. I hope you had a good time this week as well. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more Forza Horizon content. This is your host, Big Head Django, and I'll see you pretty soon. Have a fantastic week ahead.